Hello everyone, welcome to today's time-lapse video of a pink flower. This one is strictly done on watercolor, and I'm just diving right in. I'm using my new beam paints. As you can see, the water's dirty, and I have several mixed colors in the little pots from previous paintings. I'm going in wet and wet was my thought, to go in on the petals and just see how the color bleeds around, how it mixes together and bleeds around, how far out it travels, and how much paint I need to put in one area in order for it to move around into other areas. It doesn't move around a lot. I've discovered it. It does blend softly, but it doesn't move around a lot, which is fine. I am more or less used to that. Having to coax and shift and push paint around is nothing new, but sometimes you really want that whoosh. If you have a paint that doesn't whoosh and you would like it to, a little bit of Oxcal in it added to your paint water will help with that. I don't have Oxcal, so I just do what I do. I am putting in what I think is the base tone, but turns out to be more of a mid-tone on the petals, trying to leave the light areas light, as one does, keeping in mind that the paint does dry lighter. So, wow, sorry, I just caught myself. I'm saying a lot. I apologize. I know some people find that to be incredibly irritating. Even I irritate myself when I do that sometimes. So, again, I apologize. Here I'm deciding what I want to do next. I decided to purple down the tips a little bit and make them a little darker, and end up going a little too far with it. It changes the flower from pink to purple pretty quickly, which is not what I wanted to do, but here we are. Here it goes. We're just rolling with it. This is another practice piece to see how the paints work. It is the third piece that I did with these paints, all in one night, just to play around and see how they work. I'm working on the 300-pound Stonehenge 300-pound cold press watercolor paper. I'm dropping in some water on the stems or the other petals, on the flower behind this flower, which we're seeing the back of, so it will be much lighter than the foreground flower. But while I still had the colors mixed, ready, and available, I figured I'd go ahead and drop those in real quick too. And I'm not sure why, but I keep touching into that blue. There are some buds. I'll go ahead and wet those down real quick and drop in color on those. I'm dabbing on the towel underneath that paint. Okay, I understand. It's been several days since I've painted these, so I'm trying to remember what I did. I'm going in with a earthy green, mixing that, putting in the pot so that it's ready to go. I have enough mixed to do what I want to do. And I'm going to go ahead and put in all the little stems, all the little sweeping, swirly stems that fall in behind the petals from bud to the base of the flower. Ooh. I'll be so happy when this cold is gone and my voice is normal again. I'm feeling better though. I am. My voice is just toast at this point. Going ahead and getting in what I think is the dark side of these, and ends up drying pretty light. This green does go down pretty dark and dries very light. So a couple coats are necessary. It is hard to re-wet as well. You got to kind of really work at it. Well, not hard, just more difficult than I'm used to. I'm used to my M-gram paints, which are honey-based, and they never truly dry, so they re-wet almost immediately. So I guess you could say I'm a little spoiled. These are also honey-based paints. Yeah. I believe they are. Now I gotta look it up. I believe they are. But they dry really hard. Maybe they're not. They're supposed to be 100% handmade. I don't think I kept the little piece of paper that said what they are. I should have. I'm digging around to see if I got it. All my other little palettes. I don't see it offhand. Ow. At any rate, they are fun paints. They're really nice. I am enjoying them so much. I've done so many paintings with them over the last several days. I'm doing the Inktober pieces with them as well. And they're working out to be, the more I use them, the more I like them. So that's just how this paint's going. So that's great. Considering I spent a pretty penny on them, I was hopeful that the samples that I got were true to what the paint was. And I have not been disappointed in getting a sample of paints and utilizing them and then going ahead and buying a set. Usually that gives me a pretty good idea of what the paints will do and whether or not I want to invest in more, especially if they're expensive. I'm zooming out a little bit so you guys can see better what I'm doing. This is the next day. I let it all dry and I came back and I sat down and spritzed the paint and got back into it. Decided to put a little bit of orange in with my pink to kind of, because I looked at the reference photo and the flower is actually an orangey kind of sherbet color more than it is a pink. And I get carried away with this as well. But overall, I like how the flower turned out. I should have probably just left it pink and got on top of it with some colored pencils and called it good. But here I am fiddling around, fiddling about, seeing if I can get this foreground color to these petals to pop a little more. And putting in a little bit of shadow so that the petals look like they're laying one on the other here and there as they are. And yeah, overall I'm very satisfied with these paints. They're really, really nice. I already am dipping into a couple of them heavily. The pumpkin spice one that has mica in it is a huge favorite. The Mars Violet is amazing. What else am I dipping into pretty hard? The Boreal, which is more of a sap green, and the spring green and milkweed are two greens that I'm using as well. Pretty across the board. The Glacial Rivers has a divot in it already. What else has a divot? Oh, that Firewood Mica Pink also has quite a divot in it already. And the Wild Salmon. Also the Wet Bear, or the Wet Grizzly, is beautiful. I'm going to do a fish painting with the Wild Salmon color and a bear painting with the Wet Grizzly. I'm super excited to do those. At any rate, getting back to this one, we are almost done. I'm just throwing in some finishing touches, futzing about, as one does. And, there we go. Getting the last little touches done on the leaves, getting some shadows in, darkening up a few areas here and there. Let me know what you guys think of these little paintings. If you'd like to see more of this, if you prefer time lapses or real-time paintings, let me know. Usually my real-time paintings are about an hour. Sometimes an hour and a half, but I try to keep them at about an hour. And we are almost completely done. I could fiddle with this for way too long. And I think I lost a bit of footage at the end of this one. Oh no, I didn't. Here we go. Close-ups. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.